Hello, you Mayhem Makers. I'm Mindy with Quilting Mayhem, and I'm back again to talk about the Big Woods sew along and doing machine applique on block 1. So I thought I'd kind of walk through setting up my machine and how I do it before I do the machine applique actually on the block. So I'm going to switch my camera around and show you my machine. Now obviously, if you have a different brand, it may be a little different, but some of the settings will be most likely the same. So this is the Bernina 790 Pro. Things to make note of. So I do have the 9mm stitch plate on there, and I am using the 34D. Now, if I can get my camera to behave, I like it because of this line. So I can follow the edge of the fabric with this line so that I know that stitching is going to follow along the fabric, because I'm going to use this blanket stitch. Now what's nice is Bernina has this icon, which these are all quilt stitches. So normally I'm up in here and I'm just piecing, with my number 1. So I can just come here. This is your quilting stitches. Here's a lovely blanket stitch. And then I can start setting it how I want it. And so I potentially want it a little wider. So you have your width knob and then your length knob. So I'm going to adjust these to get it a little more the way I want it. All right, I am leaving my stitch length and everything else the same, and then just making sure that I've told the machine I'm using that 34D foot. Now because of this machine, I can use that dual feed, which gives you that little extra walking foot piece up here, which I like. So it'll give me extra stability versus putting on my walking foot. And then all I do is I test it. So I just take a piece of fabric and kind of test it out. I'll get quite a few going, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I kind of look at it and go, that's pretty good. That's wide enough. That's close enough. Now remember, I am using an Aurifil. This is an 80 weight thread. So it is definitely not going to be as thick. Those stitches aren't going to look as chunky, but I like that idea for what I'm doing because I don't want the stitches to stand out as much. If you didn't like that, you can always go and change up even more. You can make it skinnier, you can make it longer, all those kinds of things. Make them super chunky, all that kind of stuff, and then just keep playing. And this is what I like about this part is I'm just testing all this out. And I'm also making sure that I'm not getting like a ridge down the middle. Sometimes if your tension is too tight, it starts to create a channel. And this really isn't. It's pretty nice and flat. And this was even a different one I was testing earlier. So just play around, have fun with it before you take it to your project. And hopefully you watched the last video I did where I showed you how I did a stabilizer to it. So just keep in mind, because you are doing a machine applique, you may want a stabilizer on the back side. So I just have some Shape Flex just ironed on the back. And then I'm gonna take this to my machine and start doing my machine applique. All right, so hopefully that helps you out in figuring out how to do just a raw edge machine applique. You can also do a satin stitch. You don't have to do that blanket stitch. You could do a zigzag. I mean, you can do different stitches. You can do whatever you want. I'm old school. I like the blanket. That's kind of my go-to. So that is my preferred just go-to stitch for machine applique. All right, so if you have any questions, reach out. You can call us at the store, email, message through all the social media channels. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all of them, I swear. And I will help you out. I will answer questions, whatever you need. If you're struggling, let us know, because I would be more than happy even to do like a one-on-one, and we could talk about maybe a tension issue, those kinds of things. Also, needles. I'm just using like a microtext, an 80-20. If you have issues with shredding, those kinds of things, you may need to change your needle. That's some things to think about. So if you run into any of those problems, let me know. Reach out to me. I will be here to help you, all right? I hope you have a lovely day and keep on stitching.